If you have tried time blocking and failed, this video is for you. Time blocking works better if I pre-write the tasks and I front load it and kind of create a buffet of different tasks that I know that I have to do. Hi, I'm Emily with Cloth and Paper, and today we're going to talk about time blocking, specifically time blocking for people with ADHD or people who just struggle with traditional time blocking. Time blocking can be helpful for anyone, but it is especially helpful for people who have ADHD, autism, or other types of neurodivergent brain types, because creating a visual schedule not only helps you understand the tasks that you have to do, it also helps you have an understanding of your time as you move through the day. People with ADHD struggle with something called time blindness. You might have heard this phrase before, but what exactly is time blindness? Essentially, it is the inability to feel time moving. So other people might be able to estimate something that takes 15 minutes, whereas you might think that something that takes 15 minutes is going to take an hour, or you may think that you can do it in 5 minutes and you don't feel that time moving. So that's kind of what it means when I talk about feeling time moving. For me, I didn't even understand that there were people that could feel time moving like that. I thought it was pretty normal to not really be able to naturally understand that. However, what I learned is that that's actually a symptom of ADHD. So how do we combat that? One great method to do that is putting down a visual schedule on paper. Yes, you can write a schedule, and that does count as a visual schedule. I do it all the time. Personally, I have struggled with time blocking in a traditional sense because it's difficult for me to do consistently and can become easily overwhelming because there's a lot of little steps, or at least that's how it feels to me. So what I've done is come up with kind of my own systems to make time blocking and the concept behind time blocking work for me as someone who has ADHD. So some of these tips might work for you. I've got a few different ways that I'm going to show you that I've been working with that I think work really well, and hopefully that will help you find a way to make time blocking effective. I've been calling this method the time blocking buffet. I don't know if that is a real technical name of anything, but it feels like a buffet to me, so that's what I do. So I'm going to show you how I do that, and then a couple other little tips and tricks to try to make this work for you. So first off, you're going to need some kind of sticker. Whatever your preference is, I'm going to start with the time blocking stickers, but I'm also going to show you how you can use some of the other types of stickers. As you can see here, I've got my personal wide. I'm working with this right now, and it's been working really well. So I'm going to show you how I make time blocking work in this planner. So what's a time blocking buffet, and how is it a little bit different than regular time blocking? What you do is you take the stickers ahead of time and you write down your tasks on the stickers, various things that I know I have to do every day or every week. For that, I'm going to use this little Uni Pen here. This is a great pen for writing on all kinds of stickers, page flags. Once it dries, it stays really, really well. So this is my preferred writing tool. So as you can see here, these stickers line up, not exactly in this personal wide size, but kind of. And I actually like that because one thing I have learned about time blocking for anybody is that you always want to leave a buffer. Let's see. So I'm going to write down all the meals. I put a little bit longer for dinner because I have a little prep work that goes into dinner. And honestly, I don't make dinner every night, but on the nights that I want to make it, I have to make sure that I have enough time. I know that tonight I also want to do some reading. So I'm in the middle of some great books right now, so I want to make sure that I get to those. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to use this other color as well, because this is stuff that I'm going to be putting my work stuff on. I'm actually going to go ahead and fill this out so that I have this for a couple of days. So the key here is just writing down really all of the mundane stuff. And I'll show you why I do it this way. It's really a technique to make sure that I don't forget to do things, and then also don't forget to account for things that I have to do. So I will write the basic life stuff on one color, and then I will choose a different color to use for work typically, because I like to be able to see work tasks versus personal tasks, self-care, and all of that. So for work stuff, I'm going to use these time block stickers. This color is Lagoon. I think it's really nice. So with this, I'm going to write down things that I know that I have to make time to do every day, such as checking emails. Another thing that I always have to remind myself to do is to check on our ads, and it takes more time than you think. It takes a good hour every day just to make sure that everything is running smoothly. And then we also have our emails and things that go out every day. So this is what we use for those. Every day I'm writing briefs. So I've got these pre-written up, and I will show you why I pre-write them up instead of putting them directly in the planner right away in a moment, why the buffet is necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start planning for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Mondays are insanely busy days. This is where this kind of planning helps me a lot, because on days like Mondays, I have more tasks than I can possibly complete there. So this will help a lot. So I'm going to start here with all of the major tasks that I know that I need to complete tomorrow. So I'm going to start here, some things that I have to do. We have 30/60 meeting, which I need to prep for, an SMS calendar that I have to complete, which if you're not signed up for our SMS, you're really missing out. Some other projects working on. Now, some of these are really big projects, and what I would do, or what I will do, is I will take them and I will work through some of the milestones and do the task snowball on a lot of the tasks. So if you want to know what that is, you can go back and see some of our previous videos. Okay, so there's a few different tasks that I've written down. So I've got those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over at my schedule, and I'm going to put in the meetings that I have. I don't time block for the meetings because they're pretty finite. And tomorrow I actually only have one meeting that I'm aware of. So right here at 1 o'clock earlier in the day, I know that I'm going to have to drop my daughter off, and then my work day usually starts right here at 7:30. So that means that I've got all of these hours in here, and then a little bit here to figure out where to put all of these basic things and all of these things that I have to be doing. So what I do is I go through here and I'm looking at things on this list that are non-negotiable things. Let's see, the workshop email is going to be something that has to go out because it's time sensitive. So I have to make sure that that is getting to the right people. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at my time block buffet. I know that I have to schedule emails to get everything ready and look over the email designs to make sure that they're on there. And yes, you can use our beautiful little tweezers to get these stickers off if you want to. It just, whatever works for you. So I'm probably going to put this right under here. And I know that this is going to take me about a half an hour, and I can bump it up right against the other thing. Oh, let's see. And then after email, I'm going to leave a gap. You always want to leave a buffer anytime you're doing any kind of time blocking, because you're going to need it. One thing that I know that I'm going to have to add in that I just thought of was I have my marketing meeting, which is a really in-depth meeting where I meet with Candace and Isabel and other people on our team to discuss so many different things. So I actually need to have some prep time. I'm actually going to go ahead and block out this area right above the marketing meeting. I'm going to block out a full hour, because that includes the prep time and that includes the buffer time as well. What I'm going to do now is look at these other things that I know that I have to do. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to fill in as much as I can, leaving buffers in between. I cannot emphasize the importance of leaving these spaces in between. As you can see with my more essential tasks, my day is getting pretty full. So I'm going to have to move some things to after my marketing meeting. Very important things I'm going to need are things like lunch. So I'm going to grab that. That's something I'll probably do right after the marketing meeting, because I'm sure by 2:30 I'm going to be hungry. And then after lunch, I know that I still have to complete a few different tasks, because I know when I come back from lunch, there's probably going to be emails, Slack messages, things waiting for me. So I'm going to leave a bit of a gap here so that I am accommodating for those things. So then I'm going to write SMS calendar. So that's in there. And then next up, I'm probably going to try to squeeze in this, scheduling things out in emails. I know I have email up here, but this is more looking over designs and editing and all of that. So I'm going to leave a little bit of gap here, just so I have it in there. And as I'm adding things to this part, I actually will cross it off of this part just so that I know that I have it covered. So this one I already added in, and then I already added this as well. So then after this, I'm going to jump straight into dinner prep at that point, because I want to make sure that I'm getting that in for everyone. And then we're getting a little bit later. And that's the point where the time blindness is so interesting, because I would think that I could have so many more things in my day if you asked me, but the reality when you see it on paper is very, very different. And that's where the visual schedules are so helpful. What I will often do after dinner is that's the time when I'm going to probably go take a shower and start getting myself ready. Again, I'm going to leave a little bit of gap. I put reading on here because that is a daily priority for me. It's a really great way to have a visual cue to do it, and then to also have a great concept of how much time that it takes. This is the buffet method in a nutshell. So you're taking your daily tasks, your repetitive tasks, and you're pre-writing them on time block sheets. Then you just have them to fill in between those things that pop up. So that's how this works. Another thing you can do that is not really the time blocking buffet, but can also help a lot with visual planning, is taking things like page pins is one way to do it. You could also use stickers like this. You could probably even use page flags if you really want to get creative. And using these to visually denote the time that you have. So with these, I happen to have both sets. You could also just take this set and cut it, or you could take this and even cut it in half. So for me, if you line it up, you can see that an hour is like a third of it. For this, I think it's really helpful. So I go throughout my day. A lot of times I work longer than I should because I have so much that I want to get done, and I forget that I need to do things like take time to do some self-care. I'm going to do 2 hours, 6:30, and I'm going to block it out. And then I know that I need to block out an hour in the morning to eat breakfast and just do basic self-care stuff. And then, let's say that I want to do 3 hours or several hours of work on a project. So I'm gonna spend this time doing that. So that's how I do it. For me, time blocking works better if I pre-write the tasks and I front load it and kind of create a buffet of different tasks that I know that I have to do day to day. Another really helpful tip is to use a visual timer, not just a timer on your phone that counts down, but an actual visual timer. If you don't know what a visual timer is, I grabbed one it actually belonged to my kids, so it's a little big, but it gives you the idea of why a visual timer is different. So you've got this is a visual timer. They do come in smaller sizes and cuter versions and things like that, but like I said, this one was one that I used for my kids. And the reason that it's great is because the color on it disappears as the timer goes off, all the way up to the ding, and it actually doesn't make any noise. It's completely silent. I think that these are a lot more effective than digital timers or ones you get on your phone. They also have visual ones like that you can get on your phone, which you totally can do, but for me, I think the actual physical timer works best. So either way, have something so that you understand how much time you actually have left, because again, you're time blind, so you're not going to be able to feel those minutes passing by, and that will help you stay on track. So that's it. I hope that some of these tips were really helpful for you, and I would love to hear some of your tips and how you adjusted time blocking and other methods to work for you and the way that your mind works. Thanks for watching. please drop your comments below. I love to read them. I get so many amazing tips and tricks just from our community. Also, if you're not part of cloth and paper communities on our other platforms, consider joining them. There are endless supplies of planner experts in our Facebook group, Cloth and Paper Insiders, on our Instagram page, TikTok, and coming soon, Reddit. If there's a problem that you're having or you have a question, it is so great to drop it in those communities, because not only do our planning experts have the opportunity to speak to you, but the whole community does. And there is so much wisdom and intelligence throughout the cloth and paper community. I highly suggest making sure that you are hanging out with us on every platform that you use, because the conversations are just so good. So I hope you join those conversations and look for more ADHD planning videos.